Hello everybody, my name is Jessica. I'm with Randwick City Library and I'm here today for the Eco Living Fair with Randwick City Council. We're doing a story time. It's very exciting to be here. I've got some books next to me. I've got some pictures. We'll just wait a little bit to see if anybody comes online. It's nice to have you here though. Thank you for joining us. Beautiful day outside. I love the rain. It's so nice and you can get all cozy inside, but also jumping in the puddles is so much fun as well. All right, let's get started. Hello everybody. If you didn't catch me before, my name is Jessica. I'm with Randwick City Library and today we're doing the Eco Living Fair story time, which is very exciting. I'd like to say a big welcome from Randwick City Council and also from Randwick City's Mayor, Danny Said. He says a big hello. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge that today I'm meeting and coming to you from the land of the Gadigal and the Bidjigal people. And they traditionally occupied the Sydney coast of Australia. I'd just like to pay my respects to any elders past, present and emerging, and just I've just frozen.
and
just welcome everyone today. All right, let's get started on our story time. I was thinking we should start with a song. What do you think?
Yes.
I think we should sing If You're Happy and You Know It.
Let's
sing that together, shall we? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, and you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray!
Yay!
Well done! All right, so let's get into our story time. What are we talking about today, Liz?
We're talking about sustainability, but
yeah.
I think we're talking about another lot of workers.
Yeah, we're talking about worms. Worms and composting. So, I've got some cool pictures here to tell us about worms. Worms are super important to have in our soil. We've got worms here. This is an earthworm, and it's an earthworm's life cycle. So we can see a big earthworm here. He starts in a cocoon, a tiny little cocoon, and then hatches from the cocoon out into the big wide world, and then becomes a really big long earthworm. And they love living in the dirt. So we can see here, they're living in the dirt. They eat all the nutrients from the soil, and they turn the dirt around and make sure that all the oxygen is moving through the soil. And you know what they really love? What do they really love, Liz? They love compost. So composting is a fun activity that we can do with all of our vegetable scraps and all of our eggshells and things like that. And I've actually got some things that we can compost on the whiteboard over here. So if you see one that you'd like, comment below and we'll find out a fun fact about worms underneath the composting item. So we've got a few over here that you can see. Comment which one you'd like to see and we'll learn a fun fact about worms underneath them.
So actually someone from our weekly group is watching and Min is saying hi.
Hi Min, thank you so much for watching today. Hope you're having a great day. Check out our composting pictures over here and let me know which one you'd like to reveal for a secret about worms. Thanks for watching. All right, so composting is super cool. I've got some books about earthworms that I thought we might like to look at. So earthworms spend most of their life tunneling through dark soil. As it moves, it mixes together the layers of soil, Blending the soil helps keep it healthy so plants can grow. Muscles for moving. An earthworm has 2 types of muscles, circular muscles and long muscles. Circular muscles loop around the earthworm's body inside each segment. And we can see little parts of the muscles with these lines here. They loop around and around and around and around, which is very, very cool. The next book that I wanted to show you was our mini beasts in the compost heap.
Whoa.
So this is a cool book here.
Because the compost is so important.
So important. Composting is so important. So if we open this book, we can find, let's read this, a little bit of this together. Poke around in a compost heap and you will find worms and other mini beasts wriggling around. They are there because there is plenty for them to eat. Worms eat the fruit and the vegetable scraps and dead plants in a compost heap. What is a compost heap though?
Isn't it all what is it? Isn't it all where all our veggies peels go?
Yeah. So a compost heap is a pile of dead plant material, vegetables and fruit scraps, newspaper and even tea bags. It slowly rots to form compost. It is an excellent habitat for mini beasts. Some of them eat the plants and vegetable waste, and other mini beasts eat other mini beasts in the compost.
Whoa.
So it's like a little ecosystem. There's like a whole little world in your compost bin. And later I'm going to tell you how we can make our own composting in a plastic bottle, which is very exciting. So we can see here, this is what happens when we compost. We've got an apple, and it's showing the different stages that the apple goes through as it rots. So when we put apples in our compost, we can put the leftover apple or the apple skin, and we can see that it slowly rots down as the apple and the worms slowly eat it. Very cool. Shall we do our first story?
Let's do it. Kathy's saying good morning.
Oh, good morning, Kathy. Hope you're having a great morning. We're about to read a story. Now, which one should we read? I'm thinking we might read Timothy the Worm. Now, Timothy the Worm is written by Helen Reynolds and is illustrated by Natasha Haggerty, and it is published by Little Steps. So let's read this one together. Timothy was a happy, chubby worm who lived in a compost box down the bottom of Farmer Jack's garden. Now, you may think a compost box is not a very nice place to live, but for a worm, it is a very nice place. It's a perfect home. Farmer Jack put leaves, lawn cuttings, all garden prunings, and some food scraps into the box to keep the box damp. There's little Timothy, the little worm, the chubby worm in the compost box. Timothy was so happy in the compost box that he had never been outside. Until one nice rainy day, he looked over the side of the box and thought, why not? So he wriggled up the side of the box, over the edge and down the other side. Watch him going over the edge and down the other side. Timothy found himself in a very big garden. With the rain softly falling on him, it felt so good that he decided he would wriggle around the garden and explore. And what a wonderful adventure Timothy had. I wonder who he met. Timothy had not travelled very far when he came upon the most beautiful scene under a very old willow tree. Under soft rays of sunlight that spread out through the wet branches, there were the tiniest of people dancing. They were twirling and prancing on the most beautiful red mushrooms with white spots. Who do you think they might be? These tiny people were dressed in rainbow-coloured costumes made out of net, and they all had white wings. Their wings were trimmed with gold and silver and lots of sparkles. They had the daintiest shoes, also covered in sparkles. Timothy could hear the tinkling of bells as the tiny people continued dancing. I think they might be fairies.
I think they might be too.
Wow. Timothy was spellbound for some time as he watched the beautiful show. When the dancing stopped, he watched the tiny people fly away into the distance. As he gazed after them, he heard the soft tinkling of bells and could see the most beautiful twinkling lights. Timothy slowly started to wiggle further around the tree when he saw 2 red fiery dots. Uh-oh. He bravely wriggled nearer the red dots until he came upon a fierce-looking creature. Can you see the 2 red dots just here?
Oh, they look like someone's eyes.
Ooh, bit scary. Timothy stopped and said to the creature, "Hello, I'm Timothy, a worm from the compost box. I am exploring the garden for the first time." The creature said, "Hello, Timothy. I am a red-eyed dragon who watches over the fairies, and I keep them from harm. I've been watching you, Timothy. You are now in a fairy garden, and you may move around and meet my friends." I wonder who he's going to meet. Timothy had not gone far when he met 2 gnomes. One was painting a picture, the other was digging for gold and silver for fairy wings and wands. After chatting with the gnomes, Timothy met a tortoise who was carrying a beautiful fairy on his back. She was on her way to visit a friend and told Timothy that the fairies often caught a ride with a tortoise when they were too tired to fly. Another tortoise happily gave Timothy a ride on his back, and they came across another dragon carting a pot of gold. The dragon told Timothy that the gold was for the fairy queen, so she could make gold dust to sprinkle on the fairies. Can you see the pot of gold just here? As Timothy and the tortoise continued, they came across 2 very old gnomes who lived in a grotto and were looked after by fairies who also lived there. Timothy then came upon 2 wombats who told him that they guarded the entrance to the grotto and all the fairies. Timothy imagined how lovely it would be to see the fairies dancing at night with twinkling lights and sparkling gold dust. This is a beautiful grotto. On the edge of the fairy garden, Timothy met a frog, a lizard, and a koala. The animals told Timothy they were all friends of the fairies, dragons, gnomes, and the pixies, and often watched the fairies dancing and playing. Very cute.
I think it's an Australian garden.
Looks like an Australian garden, doesn't it?
Mm.
With a koala.
Yeah, and wombats.
The animals also told Timothy that the fairies often worked magic for people who needed help. They were especially good at sending pleasant dreams to little children and sometimes adults. They said the fairies do all their good deeds when people are asleep because the fairies are only seen by their friends who live in the fairy garden. Look, the fairies are making sure that all these people are having really nice dreams. The animals also told Timothy about the tooth fairy, a special fairy who replaces any tooth left out for her with money. She has been doing this for a very long time, and no person has ever seen her. Timothy could see that the sun was getting low in the sky and decided that he should hurry home before dark. He said goodbye to the animals. Just as it was becoming dark, he wriggled up the outside of the compost box. As he wriggled back inside his home, Timothy thought how lucky he was to have made so many friends and to have seen the wonderful magic of the fairies all in one day. There's Timothy going back to his compost box. He had so much to tell the other worms who lived in the compost box with him. Look, Timothy's going to tell all the other worms. There's chubby Timothy. Oh, and the fairy made his dream really nice. Isn't that nice? So that was Timothy the worm. Someone from home.
Oh, Killian says hello.
Hi, Killian. Hope you're having a great day.
And Christine as well.
Hi, Christine. Hope you're enjoying the books. Thank you so much for watching. All right. So that was Timothy the Worm. Now, I have a worm song for us to sing. What do you think about that? I think we should sing it together. It's called Wiggle Worms, and it goes to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. All right, let's sing this one together. Wiggle, 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 worms wiggling all around. Wiggle here and wiggle there, wiggle in the ground. Crawling, 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 worms crawling all around. Crawling here and crawling there, crawling in the ground. Digging, 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 worms digging all around. Digging here and digging there, digging in the ground. Wow. Should we sing that one more time now
Let's
that
do it
everyone
again.
knows the lyrics? Okay. Wriggle, 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 worms wriggling all around. Wriggle here and wriggle there, wriggling in the ground. Crawling, 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 worms crawling all around. Crawling here and crawling there, crawling in the ground. Digging, 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 worms digging all around. Digging here and digging there, digging in the ground. Well done. Give yourselves a clap.
Should we remind people that you've got some things to reveal?
Yeah, that's a good point. We've got some beautiful compost pictures over here. So these are all things that you can compost. And they've got hidden facts about worms behind them. Let's demonstrate one. So for example, I've got this beautiful banana peel. Banana peels can go in the compost bin, and they're really great for the worms. So let's turn this over. 3, 2, 1. Worms breathe through their skin. They have no lungs. Wow. So that's a fun fact about worms. So we'll leave that there. All the other composting pictures have facts about worms behind them as well. So if you'd like to find out what the facts are, let us know.
Smiley Kylie says hello.
Hello, Smiley Kylie. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a great day. All right. The next the next book that we're going to read is Diary of a Worm. This one's a fun one.
So what's a diary, Jess?
A diary is something that people write in with their personal thoughts and feelings. They can write about every day maybe, or every week they write their thoughts and feelings into it. And then they can look back over the year and think about what they were feeling at the time.
It's like keeping your memories in a way.
Yeah, it's like storing your memories in written form. All right. So this Diary of a Worm is by Doreen Cronin. The pictures are by Harry Bliss, and it's published by HarperCollins. Let's have a look. What does he get up to? March 20th. Mum says there are 3 things that I should always remember. The earth gives us everything we need. We dig tunnels. We help take care of the earth. We must make tunnel. Helps earth breathe. 3, never bother Daddy when he's eating the newspaper. Does your dad eat the newspaper? Mine does. March 29th. Today, I tried to teach a spider how to dig. Look, you just do like this. Do, 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 do. First of all, his legs got stuck. Oh, I think I've twisted one of my ankles. Then he swallowed a bunch of dirt. I give up. Tomorrow, he's going to teach me how to walk upside down. Very cool. March 30th. Worms cannot walk upside down. Oh, look.
No.
He tried walking upside down with a spider, and the spider had to catch him with his web. April 4th. Fishing season started today. We all dug deeper. Did you guys hear something? There's someone's trying to dig down to get the worms to use them for bait, for fishing, to catch fish. April 10th. It rained all night and the ground was soaked. We spent the entire day on the sidewalk. Hopscotch is a very dangerous game. Uh-oh. He's dodging the little kids playing hopscotch on the sidewalk. April 15th. I forgot my lunch today. I got so hungry that I ate my homework.
Oh.
My teacher made me write, I will not eat my homework 10 times. When I was finished, I ate that too. Ah.
It's disappearing.
April 20th. I snuck up on some kids in the park today. They didn't hear me coming. I wriggled up right close between them and they screamed. I love it when they do that. He's being silly. He's scaring the kids. May 1st. Grandpa taught us that good manners are very important. So today I said, good morning to the first ant I saw. There were 600 more of them in line. I stood there all day. Good morning, 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 good morning. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Howdy, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. He had to say good morning to 600 ants.
Oh, that's exhausting.
It's a lot of manners. It's a lot of manners. May 8th. Had the worst nightmare last night. Giant birds playing hopscotch. Mum says I have to stop eating so much garbage right before I go to bed. And he's going to sleep in a tea bags box. I got into a fight with a spider today. He told me you need legs to be cool. Then he ran. I couldn't keep up. Maybe he's right. Oh. May 16. I made Spider laugh so hard he fell out of his tree. Who needs legs? May 28th. Last night, I went to the school dance. You put your head in, you put your head out, you do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself about. That's all we could do. They didn't have any arms or legs to do the hokey pokey with. June 5th. Today we made macaroni necklaces in art class. Oh, wow. I brought mine home and we ate it for dinner. You're very talented, said the dad. Look, they're eating the necklace they made in art class. June 15th. My older sister thinks she's so pretty. I told her that no matter how much time she spends looking in the mirror, her face will always just look like her rear end. Spider thought that was really funny. Mum did not. July 4th. When I grow up, I want to be a Secret Service agent. Spider says I will have to be very careful because the president might step on me by mistake. It's a dangerous job, I told him, but someone's got to do it. Look at him there in his suit and his glasses, and he's got his earpiece in. July 28th. 3 things I don't like about being a worm. I can't chew gum, I can't have a dog, and all that homework.
I didn't know worms had to do a lot of homework.
Worms have so much homework, and they have to eat it all too.
Oh.
July 29th. 3 good things about being a worm. I never have to go to the dentist. No cavities, no teeth either. I never get in trouble for tracking mud through the house, and I never have to take a bath. Who's my grubby little boy? August 1st. It's not always easy being a worm. We're very small, and sometimes people forget that we're even here. But, like Mum always says, the earth never forgets we're here. That's his little house, and he's got all the different tunnels to all the different places. Oh no, these are some pictures. A bee stung him here. He found a really cool big baseball. There's some more pictures down here as well. Mum and Dad's anniversary. Ew, gross. So that was Diary of a Worm. I hope you enjoyed that one.
We should think about the life of a worm when we see them in the garden, just doing their thing.
Yeah, we should. Instead of just like picking them up and looking at them, we should think about what lives they've led.
Yeah, and all the work that they do.
They do lots of work for us.
Yeah, they're the underground sort of equivalent of the bee in a way, aren't they?
They are, like we talked about yesterday with the bee. These are like the underground equivalent. Shall we reveal another?
Yeah, let's see. I really like that look of that egg. Ooh. I want to see what's under the egg.
Okay, let's reveal the egg, shall we? 3, 2, 1. baby worms hatch from cocoons. Oh, and did you know that multiple baby worms can be in one cocoon? So there can be 3 baby worms in one cocoon.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's very cool.
That's very cool.
So that's our fact about worms from the egg.
Oh, Min actually would like to see what's behind the apple.
Oh, Min! Okay. Let's look what's behind the apple. 3, 2, 1. Worms are cold-blooded and they have 5 hearts.
5 hearts. Boom, 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 boom.
It's like a dance party in there. They have 5 hearts. Did you know that, Min? Wow. Very cool.
Does that mean they fall in love a lot?
They must fall in love a lot. All right. So I've got another song for us to sing.
Okay.
This one is called There's a Worm at the Bottom of My Garden. Let's sing this one together. We've got to wriggle our finger like this. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and his name is Wiggly Woo. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and all that he can do is wiggle all night and wiggle all day. The people round here, they all do say, there's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and his name is Wiggly, Wiggly Woo. Well done, everybody. I like that song. That's lots of fun. All right. For our final book today, we have I Can Only Draw Worms. Now, this is by Will Mabbott, and it's published by Puffin Books. This book is about worms.
Whoa, that's a bright colour.
Will can only draw worms. That's all he can draw. He can't draw anything else, just worms. That's all. That's it. Just worms. Here's one worm. Nice long pink one. Here's worm 2. Here they both are together. It's hard to know which is which. I'll give the second worm glasses. Okay, so this is worm 2 and this is worm 1. That's better. Now you can tell them apart. Here's worm 3. She's a different colour. No reason, I just lost my pen. Hello, worm 4. Worm 4 thinks he's in charge of all the other worms. I don't know why. Here's worm 5. He's a little poorly. I'm afraid poorly worms just look like normal worms. The next page is really exciting. Worm 6 is riding a flying unicorn. I'm excited to see that. Ready? Oh, I can't draw flying unicorns. I've drawn worm 5 again instead. Worm 6 flies his unicorn all the way to meet worm 7, who lives in outer space. On the way, worm 6 has an amazing adventure. We'll skip all that. Here's a picture of him meeting worm 7. He looks all cool, but inside he's really excited. Oh dear. There's been a dreadful accident. It's not true that if a worm is cut in half, it makes 2 worms. It makes 2 half worms. Here's worm 8, and here's worm 8.5. This page is blank. Worm 9 is missing. And the others are starting to get worried. Oh no, where's worm 9? Here's worm 10 instead, the last worm. He looks the same as worm 1. Oh, it is worm 1. Here's worm 10, last as usual. And look who he's found. Worm 9. She just nipped to the toilet. Sorry. That's okay, worm 9. Everybody has to go sometimes. So now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5, 9, and 10. 10 worms, all friends together. This book was about worms. I Can Only Draw Worms. What did you think of that book? It was a little bit funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's different.
All right. Now, I think before we finish, we might reveal the last 2 composting pictures. So let's reveal what's behind this potato peel. 3, 2, 1. Adult worms have a ring called a clitella. This is very true. Adult worms do have a ring called a clitella, and it's this part right here. And it looked like when the Diary of a Worm, they made a necklace out of macaroni. That looked like the clitella too. So that's a different part of a worm. And let's reveal the carrot. 3, 2, 1. Worms are older than dinosaurs.
No way.
Yes, yes, they've been around for a very, very long time. They're older than dinosaurs.
Wow, that's very cool.
Very cool. They've just been hiding away in the soil. Very, very cool. Okay, so that is our story time about worms and composting. Thank you so much for joining us. Next up
we have a craft activity.
We have a craft activity. I do have a craft activity, actually. A quick one. This one is how to make a worm farm. And it's very simple. You need a plastic bottle, some soil, half a cup of sand, water spray, some leaves, a bit of apple. You cut the top off the bottle with your parents' help. Put the soil inside the bottle. Spray the soil with water, but don't make it too wet. Put some sand in the bottle. Spray the sand with water. Put more soil on top. Spray the soil with water. Oh, we're making lots of layers. Cut up some apple. Put the apple on the soil, or you could use any of these vegetable scraps that we put in. Oh, my pages are sticking together. Put some leaves on the apple. Put in the worms, and you've got yourself a very funky worm farm.
Wow.
Very cool. So that's our craft for this afternoon.
We have a Zoom,
a Zoom activity, backyard bugs. So if you'd like to join that, head on to our Facebook page. We've also got information on our website, and you can join that as well. That starts at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, yes. We'll be making some bugs, backyard bugs. Okay.
We'll see you then. Have a fantastic day. Bye.